Assam, the land of Eastern astrology, witnesses the majestic Brahmaputra, is a haven of natural beauty and rich heritage, where every corner whispers tales of ancient splendor.
The river Brahmaputra is the central identity of this land. It has witnessed the topographic changes of the entire region. But there are many mysteries that are associated with this land which even predates the river itself. Let's take a leap back to the time when the Brahmaputra River was not in its present form.
Around 5 million years ago, the north and northeastern region of India was formed. This region is composed of folded and tectonically disturbed metamorphic and sedimentary rocks, which were involved during the upheaval of the Himalayas and the Patkai-Barai range. The Shillong Plateau, forming the central highland of the Meghalaya, is regarded as an extension of the peninsular India. The Brahmaputra Valley, covered by the recent alluvial deposits, comprises the third region and represents the easterly extension of the Indo-Gangetic alluvium. These are the three divisions into which the whole of northeastern India can be divided physiographically. By early Pleistocene times, that is about 1 million years ago, northeastern India assumed the present geomorphological features. The newly created Arunachal Himalayas had a depression formed which ran parallel to it. This depression had the Sivalik Sea, which had saltwater lagoons, but it gradually freshened and was constantly supplied by sand and water. In due course of time, river Brahmaputra fed many tributaries and replaced the Sivalik Sea in this part of the country. Human activities in this region for a long time is not known because no fossils has been found here. We have found the existence of some tools in a cave at Khangkhui in Manipur. The Neolithic people of Assam can be identified as the speakers of Mon-Khmer language of the Austro-Asiatic family. In around 10th century BC, the Yajur Veda mentions about a group of people who lived in caves on hills and forests called as the Kiratas.
When early humans lived, they needed tools for their day-to-day activities. They made these out of hardened substances like stone, bones, wood, etc. When archaeologists and anthropologists found these kind of materials in larger quantity, they named those sites to be flake tool industries. A large number of such sites are now available in the Garo Hills, which is in the present state of Meghalaya.
Whether Assam continued to be in its Neolithic age right up to the 15th century, at least in the hills and heavily forested areas, or these, as well as the Brahmaputra Valley, had a glimpse of a copper-bronze age, though not a full-fledged one as the rest of India and Southeast Asia had, is a moot point. For no data exists at present for want of archaeological excavation. While the evidences of Copper-Bronze Age cultures have been found in Bengal and in Southeast Asia bordering Assam, it sounds absurd to say that these prehistoric cultures were not developed in Assam. The only possible explanation is that in the Brahmaputra Valley, the early Metal Age sites have not yet been discovered. The situation in forested hills appears to be different. In these areas, Neolithic culture might have continued uninterruptedly well into the historic era on account of geographical semi-isolation of these regions. Iron and its associates, the painted grey ware and black and red ware, might have reached here, particularly the Brahmaputra Valley, in about 800 to 500 BC.
These were colored potteries like polished grey ware or black and red ware, and a culture began to be defined along with it. But technically, cultures are quite different from a civilization. In Assam, These potteries reached here at around 500 BCE, but then the culture reached this land at a very later period.
The boundaries of the kingdom can be found in the Yogini Tantra. According to it, Pragjyotishpur extended from Mount Kanchana in Nepal, preferably Mount Kanchenjunga in the north, to the Laksha or modern Lakhya in the south, now located in the border between the Dhaka and Mymensingh districts of Bangladesh. To the west was the river Karatoya, while the temple of Dikharavasani near the river Dikshu lied to its east.
The Ramayana and the Mahabharata were written during this time period. These were the earliest sources which tells us about the kingdom of Pragjyotisha. According to these sources, this kingdom was ruled by a king called Naraka from the capital city Pragjyotishpur.
The location of Pragjyotishpur, according to the Mahabharata, is in the lower Indus Valley, that is in the Punjab Sindh area. Based on the present location of Pragjyotisha, this information seems to be completely absurd. But the cause of this confusion has a solution. The Shahi kings in the Gilgit region, that is the northwestern part of Indian subcontinent, flourished about the 8th century, and some of their ancestors claim descent from the Bhaumanarakadatta dynasty. The earliest known king of ancient Assam was a non-Aryan named Mahiranga Danav. He had his capital at Moiranga, which may be identified with a hill called the Moirang Parvat, still existent at a distance of 7 miles from Guwahati on the Guwahati-Shillong road. When and how he established the kingdom is not known, but there is no doubt that he was called a Kirata chief.
Kirats. These were hunter-gatherers, and maybe they had a little knowledge about herbal medicine. They used to reside in the foothills of Himalayas, and they had yellowish skin color, and they had a very good physique. So according to the Mahabharata, in the Mahabharata war, the army of Bhagadatta is considered to have comprised of a large number of Kirats and Sinas.
This is evident from the title Asura borne by his immediate successors, Hatakasur, Sambhasur, Ratnasur and Ghatakasur. Ghatakasur was described as the ruler of the Kiratas, who is said to have been killed by the Naraka, who then founded a new line of kings. Both the epics mention majorly about King Naraka, his son Bhagadatta and the latter's son Vajradatta. Naraka is counted among one of the ancient kings and is called Bhauma, meaning the son of Bhumi or the earth, as well as an Asura, a Daitya and a Danav, which means a demon. The story that revolves around him is how Naraka became so powerful and robbed the earrings from Aditi, who is considered to be the mother of all gods. The growing tyranny of Naraka on earth and how Krishna Vasudev recovered the earrings after slaying Naraka. About Bhagadatta, the king of Pragjyotisha, the Mahabharata says that he was a friend of Indra, the king of gods, and of the Kuru prince Pandu. He was surrounded by the Sinhas, the Kiratas, and other warriors dwelling along the sea coast. Bhagadatta himself is also called the dwelling in the eastern sea, as well as having his abode in the mountain. Bhagadatta fought on Duryodhan's side in the Kurukshetra war, in which he was killed by Arjuna. He used to fight from his chariot and often particularly from the back of his elephant, sometimes called as Supratika. As regards Bhagadatta's son Vajradatta, it is said that he was defeated by Arjuna when the latter was guarding the horse of Yudhishthir's Ashwamedha sacrifice. Archaeological remains have been discovered around Sadia. These gives us the name of another king, Bhismaka. His kingdom is called Vidarbha. The capital was at Kundina on the banks of the river Kundil, which flows through Sadia. King Banasura, famous as Bana, was another powerful king ruling during the same time when Naraka was in power. His only daughter Usha's marriage to Aniruddha, the grandson of Krishna, can be found in the works of Shankardeva. 3,000 years after the death of Vajradatta, who died sometime after the famous Kurukshetra battle, came Pushyavarman. With the establishment of Pushyavarman on the throne of Pragjyotisha, another dynastic family called the Bhauma-Naraka came into power. Historically, these lines of kings are today popularly known as the Varman dynasty.